Chapter 3 An Educational Toy. Ralph did not rest long. "On your feet, Mouse," said the gopher, appearing from the dark recesses of the Gopher Run. "You can go now." "Do I have to?" pleaded Ralph nervously, eyeing the gopher's long, curving teeth. "I've come a long way, and I need a day's sleep." "Go on, beat it." The gopher stared at Ralph with his nearsighted eyes. "This is my run, and I don't want it cluttered up with mice." "Please?" Ralph tried to sound pitiful. "I'm just a little mouse, and I've had a long, hard trip." "I know you mice," answered the gopher. "You are little and look helpless, but when you move in, you take over." Then he added in a more kindly tone, "Anyway, you had better get out while you can. That dog will eat his breakfast and go off on his round of inspection. And when he sees all the dirt he churned up, he'll start digging again." Maybe you're right," admitted Ralph, who was not eager to share a tunnel with a grouchy gopher. He pushed his motorcycle up toward the circle of the light that was the entrance to the Gopher Run. There he paused until his eyes became accustomed to the sunlight. A stray chicken wandered across the lawn under the walnut trees. A horse whinnied from the barn, and from the dining hall came the laughter and chatter of boys and girls, and the clatter of silverware. The place seemed safe enough at the moment. Ralph permitted himself a leisurely but bumpy ride along a path that led to a small weathered building shaded by an arbor of grapevines. At the corner of the building he found a clump of bamboo, which offered the possibility of shelter. The fallen leaves and husks of the young bamboo shoots were broad and smooth, and the dried edges curled. He laid his motorcycle at the foot of the bamboo and pulled a husk over it. The edges curled around it so that it was hidden completely. He put his helmet under another husk, and too tired to scrounge for food, Ralph crawled under a third husk. Ralph curled himself into a cozy ball. The leaves beneath him were springy. The husk above him was smooth and silky, and curled protectingly around him. Ralph had not been so comfortable for a long, long time. A delicious fragrance of hot cakes drifted from the dining hall, reminding Ralph of the dining room of the Mountain View Inn. The campers began to sing. The horses stand around. Their feet are on the ground. "Oh, who will wind the clock while I'm away, away?" Ralph wondered if Matt had wound the clock in the lobby. Perhaps Matt was searching for a broken motorcycle in the shrubbery at the foot of the steps of the Mountain View Inn. Well, he wouldn't find it. Now all Ralph wanted was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Ralph slept more soundly than he had ever slept before. The next thing Ralph knew, a weight was pressing him into the bamboo leaves. He squirmed, but the weight pressed harder. He heard a cat's voice say, "Now watch carefully. This is the way to handle a mouse." That greeting opened Ralph's eyes in a hurry. He saw to his horror that he was pinned to the leaves by the paw of a cold-hearted tomcat, and was surrounded by a mother cat and a litter of wide-eyed kittens. Ralph simply closed his eyes again and tried to pretend he was not there. He could not believe what was happening. Cats were something that happened to other mice, not to Ralph. Now he wished he had listened to when his mother had tried to warn him, as she often did, about cats, owls, people, traps, poisoned grain, and vacuum cleaners. "Children, pay attention," said the mother cat to her kittens. "A live mouse is an interesting and instructive plaything." Ralph felt quite miserable enough without having to be educational as well. "Now watch this," said the tomcat. The weight was removed from Ralph's body. A paw scooped him up and tossed him into the air. Nothing like this had ever happened to Ralph before. He landed on his feet and stood, frozen with terror, facing the cat. He waited, with every muscle tense, for the cat to pounce, but nothing happened. The cat, who wore an interested expression on his horrible furry face, simply sat and watched. Ralph was aware of the campers leaving the dining hall and scattering to different parts of the camp, but he dared not look at them. If he watched his chance, he might be able to make a run for it. The cat, apparently distracted by a butterfly, glanced away. Ralph leaped for freedom, only to be brought to earth by a paw. "That's the way to do it," said the tomcat. "Mice are stupid creatures who are easily fooled." Ralph lay limp and still, the cat's evil claws curling around his body. If Ralph moved even a hair's breadth, he would be stabbed in 5 places. "Maybe if I play dead they will go away," he thought. Children walked in and out of the screen door nearby, but no one came to rescue of the small brown mice behind the bamboo. "He's trying to play dead," explained the tomcat, "but I can feel his heart beating beneath my paw." Unfortunately, there was nothing Ralph could do about his heartbeat. If he ever got away from this cat, he would be a better mouse. He would listen when his mother warned him about cats, owls, people, traps, poison grain, and vacuum cleaners. He would set a good example for his little brothers and sisters and cousins. "Children, forget that butterfly and watch closely," instructed the mother cat. "This is the scoop and toss play," explained the tomcat, and the next thing Ralph knew, he had been scooped up by the cat's paw and tossed into the air. He managed to land on all fours in the bamboo leaves, but he was too terrified of that clawed paw to move. The attention of the kittens, he was pleased to see, had wandered. One rolled over and tried to catch his tail, another scampered off after a leaf, a third trotted after a girl who picked him up and carried him away. The tomcat appeared to lose interest in Ralph and sat calmly, his tail curved around his feet, looking up at the leaves fluttering on the bamboo stalks. "He thinks he's got me fooled," thought Ralph. If he moved, the cat was sure to pounce. If he did not move, the cat would pounce anyway. There was no way Ralph could win. He was doomed to be a mid-morning snack for a cat.